this you? Are you having trouble being productive and doing the things you're supposed to do? Do you say you'll do something, but when time actually comes, you either delay it or you convince yourself that it wasn't a good idea in the first place? Do you want to change, to become better, and to free yourself of the literal mental chains that are holding you back? If so, then stick around, cause I got just the thing for you. Hi guys, in case you don't know me, which you probably don't, I literally have 7 subs, unless one of you nice gentlemen wants to change that. My name is Victor, I'm an almost 17-year-old who's devoted most of his life to becoming better and to helping others. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can become better at doing the things you set your mind to, no matter how hard they may be. And at the end of the video, I'm also gonna give you a bonus tip on how you can get that quick burst of drive and desire to help you overcome those moments when you lack motivation. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Ever since I was small, around 12 years old, I've wanted to be productive. I don't know why. I didn't even have anything to produce, but I was always searching for new things that I could do. For example, I've got no idea why or how in the world I managed to pick this up. But when I was around 11 to 12 years old, I started waking up at 5 am and going for a run. And bro, I don't remember even doing anything after that run. I think I was just coming back home, laying in bed and waiting for the time the school started. And it's the weirdest stuff, but somehow those were my roots for becoming who I am now and implementing my current morning routine, which actually consists of waking up at around 5 am and going for a run. At first though, when I picked this activity up, I remember it was quite hard for me to do it. I was either waking up with little to no energy and just going right back to sleep because, it was 5 am for a child that didn't know how much he needed to sleep. Or I was waking up not really feeling like it and saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But earlier, I said that right now my current morning routine looks something similar to that, except right now it's much fucking harder and more complex. Which means that I must have found a way to make what seemed so hard before become so easy right now. I found a way to make these activities easy and, most important, possible to do every single day without skipping. Our brain, and especially our motivation, work in very weird and specific ways. But I found 2 factors that I believe influence our capacity to be productive the most. Number 1 is negative emotions, which basically comes down to one single thing. If our brain feels stressed out, anxious and agitated when thinking about something, it's much less likely to do it. I've heard a very nice analogy from another YouTuber called Kajan Koi, who also made a video like this. I have the link in the description if you want to check it out, I totally suggest it. It said that our minds are very similar to an annoying toddler. 1 second they're happy, they're ecstatic, and they want to begin their new life in this bright and beautiful world. But the second they don't get what they want, they start crying, throwing tantrums, and rolling over in their fucking strollers. Much like you and I when we have to go to school. The second factor that gravely influences not only our ability to be productive, but also every other aspect of our lives, our ego. You see, I was made to mature from a very young age, all starting with my father's death at around 8 years old. Yeah, I know, sad, stop fucking crying. And because of this enormous difference in maturity between me and my friends, I always thought myself as superior in intelligence and character. And yeah, I know that's very fucking narcissistic, but if you lived with the same people I did, you'd understand why. And to be honest, in some aspects I was. For example, math, a subject in which my perception of myself as being superior to others flew me right past any other competition that I may have had. But as you all know, we all have things that we're very fucking bad at, and for me, that was literature. Every time I had to study for that subject, my brain would just flop, and I couldn't learn, I couldn't think, and I couldn't study. And I didn't know the reasons to that before I actually started thinking recently about how our ego works and how it tries to preserve our self-image. You see, given the fact that I had built up this image of myself as being superior, my ego wanted to preserve that, and when I had to do something that was below this level, my mind simply wouldn't let me do it because my ego was too afraid to fail and ruin that perception of myself. It took tons of energy and mental power for me to learn even 1 page, and it was all because I was afraid. I was afraid of ruining that perception I had of myself. That's what our ego is, and that's what our ego does. It tries to protect what we think of ourselves so much that in some cases it doesn't let us experience new things. Things in which we may not be as superior as we may think, like learning a new language, going to the gym, or even just walking up and speaking to that girl, that beautiful girl we saw on the bus. And now that we know what other factors that influence our brain, let's see if we can figure out how to make them work with instead of against us. And let's start with negative emotions, the stress, the bad feelings, the anxiety, and the anguish we feel when we have to do something is directly proportional to its size. And yes, this is another thing that I borrowed from the aforementioned YouTuber. For example, I'd feel much worse if every time I had to go running, I'd imagine myself running the whole length of the fucking track, which is pretty fucking long, at least for me, because I'm not that good of a runner. Instead of me simply imagining how I'm putting on my shoes and going out of the house. Our minds are very fucking visual and they feed off of what we give them. If we're laying in bed thinking of that hardest set of squats that we're going to have to do later at the gym, we're not going to fucking lift them. Instead, if we just imagine how we're brushing our teeth, getting ready and getting out of the house, the entire gym session will seem as easy as putting on our shoes. Now, moving on to our ego. I said earlier that our ego is the reason we find it so hard to try experiencing and doing new things. That's because it keeps us locked in this bubble, which makes us unable to see how bad and useless we may be in reality. But a very simple way that I found to work when dealing with our egos is to shift our identities so as to match the actions we want to do. For example, if I were to go back 2 years in the past when I was just starting out in the gym, I would try convincing myself that I was someone who lives regularly and goes to the gym. And I know that what I'm saying sounds extremely fucking stupid, but it actually works. 7 months ago, when I started diving deeper into the self-improvement scene, I decided to quit 3 things that were controlling my life all at once. And those were Instagram, video games, and masturbation. And the latter seemed to pose the most problems. So in order to deal with it, I followed an advice that I heard from Hamza, which said to basically shift your identity so as to be a person who doesn't jerk off. And honestly, it worked. For 5 months, I almost didn't even think of getting back into that shit. But the point is, I managed to remove and destroy a lifelong habit that I had created and reinforced since I was 11 years old. All because I decided to change my identity regarding said action. I have just one more thing regarding ego, then I'll move on to the bonus tip, and that is make it fun. The number one way to ensure that you're gonna do something for a long time with ease and you're going to succeed in it is to have fun. You have to take the pressure of succeeding off of your ego, because every time we do something, it's either don't do it or do it and possibly fail. And for our egos, this is a very simple decision to make. It will always choose the former. By taking out the need to succeed, by just saying we're going to have fun with it, we're taking all of that pressure of failing off of our egos, which in turn are going to give us the drive to do what we set our minds to. Good. Now for those of you that actually stayed with me this far into the video, first and foremost, I want to give you a big fucking thanks. I know it's not that easy to keep up with me, even how much of a beginner I may be. You've made it this far, so I want to reward you. So if you want to give yourself a nice and dizzy boost in everything you do, imagine yourself as having achieved the end result of whatever it is you want. For example, when you want to ask a girl out, all your mind will be thinking of is, oh, but what the fuck am I going to say to her? What if she'll reject me? What if she will laugh at me? What if I don't know what to respond? And so on. And this will put you in a state of complete and utter fear. And the only person you're going to be talking to is yourself at night in the mirror, seeing how you should have totally gone and spoken to her. Instead, if you want to get the confidence, the drive to do it, visualize your destination, the end point, and then act with the confidence that brings you. Like I said earlier, our minds act off of what we give them to interpret. If you only think of the hard part of a certain activity, you're ensuring yourself you're not going to do it. For example, if you want to hit that 100kg bench press, you're not going to be thinking right before the set how you're going to end up sitting with the bar right here, unable to lift it up. You're going to envision yourself pushing that bar high up into the sky, because that's what will get you pumped up and ready for the set. So why not implement the same mindset into every other activity we do? Envision the end point of an activity and then act with the confidence it brings you. Okay, that was it for this video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you managed to get something from it, and I want to see in the comments down below your success stories. The stories of how you managed to overcome that hard thing that you've been stuck on for months. At least I hope that my video managed to make such a great impact in your lives. I don't know if it will, but why condemn a man for hoping? And if you liked the video, I'd appreciate it a lot if you subscribed and hit that like button, because I'm trying to better myself with every video that I make. So if you stick around, I'm 100% sure that you're going to get more value from my next video than you've got from this one. But until next time, if you want to see my dumb face again, check out this video right here. Have an amazing day and keep growing. Mwah.